and welcome back to the cabin. Tonight we're making Lithuanian goulash. We've got our water already started, some ground beef already browning, and we're going to add some onions, celery, and a couple of these peppers. And later we'll add, and also we're going to be adding some shredded up cabbage. I only have purple cabbage. It might turn it a funny color. And then at some point we're going to add some nice spices. We're going to make our own broth, and then we'll add the tomatoes. This is a good hearty meal and easy to make. I had the ground beef on hand and looked to see what else I had, and I thought this is a perfect time to make my mom's recipe of goulash. And it just so happens that it's Lithuanian goulash, and I'll tell you about that later on in the video. Until then, stay tuned while we get this dish going, and we'll be right back at the little kitchen at the cabin. Okay, we're back and we're ready to start cutting up these onions and celery and get that cabbage going with the meat. I'm just sharpening my knife a little bit. It's getting dull. So we'll start with that. Oh, it's getting nice and brown. We want that. We want those bits on the bottom. There's a part in the recipe where it says scrape the bottom and get all those good bits. So let's just, I know I have a weird way of cutting onions. Too many times they slid around and I got cut, so I've learned to just cut them the way I like. They seem to turn out just fine. I'm going to get those onions going. Smells good already. I know there's probably people out there that cook and have a lot of knife savvy, and they probably don't like it when I do that. It's because my knives are not super sharp. They're just sharp enough for me. All right. We've added the onions. Now I remember Mom making this when we were kids. There was always more than enough to go around. So we're going to add a little bit of garlic to that while we're at it. This is just minced garlic. You can put whole cloves sliced up if you like. It's up to you. I tend to not put as much garlic as they call for. Sometimes it's a little too overpowering. All right, well, we've got that cooking nice. The water is just starting to come to a boil, and I'm going to put the macaroni noodles in there. Probably about 2.5, 3 cups. We'll see. All right, now on to celery. Now I'm going to cut these finer than I usually do, because there's going to be a lot going on in this dish, so don't need a bunch of clunky pieces of celery. All right, that's good right there. I'll give it another stir. Now, the recipe says that you can use strips of meat, beef, pork. This is just ground beef, so whatever kind of meat you have on hand works. And since we have so many of these nice peppers right now, I'm trying to use them in as many recipes as I can. Now we're going to put some in now and then add some more at the end. It's just layering the flavors, that's all it is. Oh, it smells so good. These are sweet peppers. They don't tend to give you heartburn like some peppers do. All right, so now let's get this into that boiling water, our noodles. I think I'm going to do about 2.5. Okay, I'm gonna say that's about 2.5, maybe a little bit more. Oops, I've got chimes there. I'm always banging into them. Okay, so we've got that started. I usually don't add anything when I'm doing noodles. I just let them cook, boil. Okay, now over here in this pan, everything is coming nice. Just gonna let that cook. So at this point, we're going to add some more seasoning. So I've got some really nice, it's a pink salt, Himalayan pink salt, and rather than a grinder, it's loose. And we've got about 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and of course a pinch of our special mixed spices. Now the recipe did call for more pepper, but I think we're going to be okay with 1/2 teaspoon. Now Mom had different ways of making this. Sometimes it was a little bit spicier than other times, but in general it was comfort food and easy to eat. Now we've got here a teaspoon of, oh, let me get this right. This is cumin. We've got 1.5 teaspoons of cumin and 1 teaspoon of paprika. And the paprika is what makes this dish. Whether it's Hungarian goulash, which is like a stew almost, or Lithuanian goulash, both recipes call for quite a bit of paprika. And there we have it. So growing up, Dad was the Irishman, proud of it, and had a few superstitions that we used to get a kick out of. I'm going to do this here. There we go. Let's put that back. And he even told us the odd little, I'm going to take that one off. Gee, that's hard. He would tell us the odd Irish story or folklore. And Dad's been gone now for many years. And then we find out from my sister doing diligent work on Ancestry that we don't have any Irish in us at all. So my dad grew up and lived his whole life thinking he was an Irishman, and he wasn't. His roots come from Lithuania, which of course shocked all of us. And so I started to look it up and learn a little bit about the Lithuanian culture. and where it is on the map, and pictures, and it's a beautiful place. And it's funny to think you think you're this person, but you're not. And then growing up on my mom's side, no one talked really a lot about ethnicity, culture. We lived by the culture of my granddad, who was from Scotland, and his life in the north with my grandmother. That's why you see a lot of things from the north, the far Canadian north. That's to do with my grandmother and my ancestors. And then we found out when we were all adults, how many kids in our family? 7 girls, 3 boys, something like that, yeah. So we all find out in our adult life that our grandma was native, Canadian native from the north. And as soon as we found out, it all rang true. She had the beautiful round face and the dark curly hair. And although she was a well-spoken, well-dressed woman, she did have the look of a Canadian native. And we'll get into that in another video. All right, so while I've been yakking, I did the cabbage, stirred the noodles, and we're going to make a soup broth. Now, you can use a bone broth or as chicken stock. Could be chicken, could be beef, whatever you decide. Could be vegan. Well, I don't know if it's kind of too late now, but anyway. Then we're going to add the tomatoes in half of this broth at one point and just pick up the colors and the flavors. So let's see where we're at now. Now it says that we can add a little bit of flour at this point. So let's see if I've got any flour handy. All right, I do. All right, just checking the recipe, making sure I'm putting the right ingredients in there. So that'll be at some point soon. I'm going to add that flour in there and make that for a thickening. I'm just reading up here. It's the same recipe as my mom's, except for the broth. She always used water or stock. Now, if you're using large pieces of beef, you can remove that from the pan, then fry all the veg, and then add the meat back. But since this was ground beef, I just continued to cook it all together, and it's coming along very nicely. I think we're going to take a short break and come back with the next level of this beautiful recipe, Lithuanian goulash. It's coming along real nice. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Our pasta noodles are ready. And we're going to strain those, of course, over a basin. We don't let any water go to waste at the cabin. All right, very nice. And of course, we don't want to overcook our noodles. Okay, that's good. Now I've added 3 cups of water with a good tablespoon of flour. It's supposed to be the thickening agent. And then it's time to add the remainder of the peppers and the remainder of the broth sauce. All right. Now at this point, everything is in there. That's your goulash. Now whether you have it with mashed potatoes is another good way to have it, or rice. We're having it with pasta, as some have it with dollops of sour cream at the end. And another nice way to have it is with a good crusty bread to sop up all the juices. Now we're gonna cover that and put that on 4. So it's not medium, it's not low, it's sort of a low medium. We're gonna leave our pasta off to the side. Now the pasta can be added to the goulash. That's usually what Mom would do. Or it can be just put on the plate or bowl and have the sauce over top. Either way is fine. So we're gonna let this simmer for 25, it says 30, but I wanna check it at 25. And it also says to stir it once in a while. So you know what? Let's set that timer for 10 minutes. Come back and stir it in 10. I love using the timer, then I don't forget. And we will put this dish together and give it a good taste test. I'd like to thank all of my subscribers and viewers. Thumbs up. We are aiming for 100 subscribers by the new year. So if you haven't already subscribed and you enjoy watching our videos and our shenanigans, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Our latest show is AGA, Ask Grandma Anything. It's been a great hit. We've got questions coming in all across the map. Grandparents encouraging grandparents, and it's excellent. I love it. We have another new show coming next week. I'm not going to tell you about it yet, but we're trying to find our niche and what we're good at and kind of trying a little bit of everything. We're going to have some more viewer reads and short stories and more fun at the cabin in the little kitchen. And we'll be right back when we serve up and have a little taste test. And we're back with our beautiful Lithuanian goulash. And I'm about to add the noodles right into the dish, just like my mom used to, my dear mother. Now, I don't know if I'm going to add all of them. Wow, that is really looking like a hearty dinner. Shout out to all you moms who cook a dinner every night and feed your family good, healthy food that you made with love. And shout out to all those grandparents who, without them, we would forget the past in a good way or in a bad way. I'm going to add a little bit of my mixed spice, which I've told you many times, salt and pepper, a little dried garlic, dried onion. And I'm not going to add any more noodles. I think this is just the right amount of noodles. Oh, it smells so good. Now, we didn't have any crusty buns, and I didn't have time to make bread today or bannock, but we've got some nice dark rye, and that'll be good for dipping. We're gonna spoon up this beautiful Lithuanian goulash. One of my mom's mainstays when we were kids. We ate a lot of goulash and different variations of it. Very nice. I'm gonna turn that off. We like it to look good, so I like to keep it clean. And if you want to add a few little hot peppers, you go right ahead. And of course, we'll do a dollop of sour cream. Oh, what a delicious recipe. Now, I've been using this little tomato all week as a prop, so I'm going to put it in there and it's going to get eaten today. And let's give it a taste test. Actually, I'll show it to you first. Now that is a hearty, good looking meal. This bowl's heavy. Oh, that is so hot and delicious. You can taste the peppers, the cabbage adding that beautiful dark color. Hence maybe a little bit of smoky paprika in there. Delicious. And then of course bread for dipping. Well, thank you for joining us at the cabin. Thank you to all my subscribers and viewers. And again, we are aiming for 100 subscribers by the new year. I hope you enjoy the music that we make ourselves on this channel. One of a kind. Shout outs to granddaughters and grandsons. I miss you all dearly. And until next time, always be kind to nature and go out into the forest as often as you can. Just not after dark and alone. What a good meal after a hard day's work. Delicious. Until next time, here's the little cabin saying, until next time. I caught myself up there. That's reality TV. No second takes or third takes. Here we are, mistakes and all. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon at the cabin.